Hello and welcome back to another World of Warcraft edition of the Weekly Waypoint, but only in the background. I'm not going to be talking too much about it. I'll talk a little bit about it, but if you don't want to hear me talk about it, you can always mouse over the time of a video at the bottom there and see when the next topic I talk about comes up, and you just skip to that. That's a neat little thing I introduced, which is a thing that I was already doing for miscellaneous shenanigans. I was like pointing out times when certain games appear in those, and I just thought it probably makes sense to do that in the Weekly Waypoint too. No one's come up to me and been like, oh, I really hate it when you talk about World of Warcraft or Weekly Waypoint. I'm just very aware that this is a variety channel. I talk about loads of different things, I upload lots of different games, I upload lots of different styles of videos, and some people may be here for different things, so, you know, why not make it more accessible to people who want to not hear about the thing that I'm just talking about for ages and ages, and then it just turns them off the video, you know? So yes, World of Warcraft. The background footage you're seeing today is basically my morning chores, which is an awful thing to say about a game that you play every day, but this is just what I do when I log in, basically. The Night Fae have a daily called Marasmius. Unfortunately, some of his some of his daily quests are a little bit bugged, as you're seeing now. I couldn't get any enemies to get attacked with fines for ages, and that sometimes happens, which is a shame, but you know, it's hardly the end of the world now, is it? So yeah, you're just gonna see me walk around, do the stuff I normally do when I log in, because A, I thought it would be cool to kind of document it, and B, it saves time because I woke up late today and I'm got work tonight. So yeah, you are only getting the highest tier premium quality content here at the Weekly Waypoint. I ran some mythics, mythic zeros of course, because I don't do current content, lol. But no, I ran some mythics with my mate Reese. You may have heard of him on a few of these videos. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. I got some upgrades and stuff like that, ready for LFR to open next week, which will then obviously drop stuff slightly lower than the upgrades I obtained, so it renders LFR a little bit useless, but whatever, I'll obviously go for it at least once. Which is actually, it's kind of interesting to note that I didn't really do much LFR in Battle for Azeroth at all. I typically kind of like doing LFR. Obviously it's a bit of a roll of the dice to see whether you're going to get a toxic group that knows what they're doing or not, but I don't do raids like proper normal heroic mythic. God no, not mythic. But like, I'm part of a raiding guild, but I'm not on a raiding team because the way I approach games, I can't dedicate that much time to one game, even if it's World of Warcraft. I can't dedicate my attention to being here at a certain time every week under someone else's behest, telling me what to do. You know, like, it's just not my cup of tea. It's a shame as well, because I really do like doing raids at higher difficulties. It's just such like an effort to get to the place where you want to do. Well, I say that, it's not like Destiny 2 or something like that, where you've got to grind for weeks to get like the right power level, or not weeks, but hours and hours to get to the right power level to do it. It's fairly forgiving on its entry level stuff, but it's just such a time commitment in terms of making sure you're there every week, and you know, and then there's the whole anxiety about messing up the raid, because just one player can screw up a boss mechanic for an entire 25-man group, and you don't want to be that guy. After my experience doing Mythic Dungeons with Free, so I would be willing to dip my toe into Mythic Plus. I would be willing. And then maybe straight back out again if I get too nervous. Video games are very serious business, obviously. Speaking of video games, which is perhaps the most generous transition anyone could ever offer me, so it's a good thing I thought it up for myself, I've been playing slightly less Xbox this week. I've actually been playing a lot more World of Warcraft this week, which is weird, given that, you know, it's been a couple of weeks since it came out now. You'd expect me to be slowing down on it, not putting even more time into it, but maybe that's just because I had a week off. But no, I've been playing slightly less Xbox, but I've still been playing Xbox nonetheless. Well, some the less, that's how that phrase works, I guess. To cut a short story even shorter, I dipped my toes into two games. One of them was Slime Rancher, and the other was Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair. And I just... both games are they're good, but I just like, I don't really feel any pull to go back to them. which might sound heartbreaking for Slime Rancher, especially because it's an adorable and charming, lovely little game, but I don't know, man. The thing with having Game Pass is it's a constant balance of making sure that you're investing yourself in a game without just constantly going for the dopamine hit of, I'm going to look for a new game on Game Pass, wow, that looks cool, I'm going to download that and play it, and then after like 1 or 2 play sessions you're like, wow, I need that dopamine hit of something new again. And I experienced this last night when I was hovering over Dragon Age Origins for a very long time. And for those who have seen my tweet about it, I'm sorry to rehash content, but I'm going to be talking about it here too. Dragon Age, me hovering over Dragon Age Origins on Xbox Game Pass is the most me thing I can think of, because I already own it on PC. That's one of many points for me to not download it. I already own it on PC, and also even if I didn't, EA Access or EA Play or whatever the fuck they're calling it these days, that's coming to PC I think today or tomorrow, in terms of being paired up with Game Pass for PC, so you should be able to play it via Game Pass for PC that way if you've got Ultimate, I think. So definitely don't need to download the Xbox version, although I am kind of curious to see what the combat's like on the Xbox version. But other than that, definitely no need to do that. And then also, I've already got Assassin's Creed Valhalla and Dragon Quest Echoes of an Elusive Age downloaded onto my Xbox, so that's 2 massive RPGs on there, so I definitely don't need a third right now. And then also, you got to take into account that I've already played 3 separate save files of Dragon Age Origins and quit them all at exactly the same point. So I would just be doing that for a 4th time now, wouldn't I? And also, if I am going to play it again, I should do it on PC because I can make content out of it, I can make videos out of it, or I can stream it or something. Although I can stream it from my Xbox, but that's a bit wonky. I might as well just stream it from PC, you know? And yet, I still want to download Dragon Age Origins for Xbox Series S. What's wrong with me? I don't understand. Skyrim's coming to the service today or tomorrow, wasn't really paying much attention, and for those of you who are unaware, I originally bought Skyrim for the PS3, and then for the PC, and then for the Switch, and then for the PS4, and so I've played it in PSVR as well. Oh no, the PSVR edition, sorry, that's a separate version, so I've bought it twice for PS4. Listen, the first one was on sale, okay, it was like a double pack with Fallout 4 for £12, and I didn't have Fallout 4, but anyway, so I own 5 editions of that game. I do not need to download the 6th edition. It's Skyrim. I know what it is. I've played it. I'm well aware with it. I've perfected that game. That is a massive game to perfect, but if you look at the original edition on Steam, I've got every single achievement in that game. Why am I going to be downloading Skyrim when it hits the service? Because I'm not saying I want it for gamer score. Like, if I was saying that, I would be admitting that. I'm already admitting that I want these games downloaded for no good reason. I could say I want to see how it runs on the Xbox Series S, but I know how it's going to run on the Xbox Series S really well, and the load times are going to be really quick, and I can imagine that, and I can feel what that's going to feel like because I've played other games like that, and I know what that's going to be like, but I'm still going to download it, aren't I? What's wrong with my brain? What I'm going to do after I've finished recording this episode of the Weekly Waypoint is I am going to have some lunch firstly, probably watch an episode of Buffy, and then I'm going to play either Assassin's Creed Valhalla or Dragon Quest Echoes of an Elusive Age. I'm not going to let myself fall off of these games before I start another RPG. I said recently, either in a video or a blog post somewhere, that the best thing about, I think it was a blog post, that the best thing about Game Pass is that I can just download something and play it for a bit and sample it and move on, and I need to stop beating myself up for not completing games. That's true. But also, when it comes to big, massive scale RPGs, I don't want to play the first 5 hours of it over and over and over again, because I keep playing it and then getting distracted by another massive RPG, which is awesome that I can download to my Xbox and just play. But you know what, maybe I should finish the original one first. Another game I want to download and try this with, Mass Effect. Although I've got slightly different reasons for Mass Effect. Let's talk about Mass Effect for a bit. Mass Effect, also on EA Play, 1, 2 and 3. I've never been able to get past, again, just like Dragon Age Origins, like the first 5 to 10 hours of Mass Effect 1. And people say Mass Effect 1 has aged, and that's probably why, and I get that. But it is like a trilogy, and you can't just miss the first part of a trilogy, and it's got a lot of story in it. So I want to play Mass Effect 1. And I own it on PC, and like I said, been brushing up against that wall of like 10 hours. But I've heard that the combat in the console version of Mass Effect 1 is different, so I do want to download that on Xbox and try it out there and see if that appeals to me more. The issue I'm having with that one is that the Mass Effect Remastered Collection, or whatever they're calling it, comes out I guess before the end of the year. I'm not sure when it's coming out. Spring 2021, apparently, according to Bing. Don't judge me, only does Microsoft reward points. Okay, get free Xbox vouchers. Anyway, so yeah, that's when that's coming out, and I don't know whether to hold off until then because they haven't mentioned whether it's coming to EA Play, or maybe it's just coming to EA Play Pro, which is annoying because Xbox Game Pass Ultimate members don't get that. They still want a cut of their own money, and then it's like, how long does it take for a game to stop being an EA Play Pro and EA Play? I researched that a bit last night, and they were like, oh, you know, just EA's discretion. Just there's no standard set for it because it's such a new service, and it doesn't look like it's following a pattern. It's just whenever the fuck EA play, or whenever the fuck EA wants it to happen. Like, I'm currently waiting for the Need for Speed Hot Pursuit remaster to land on just EA Play for everyone, but it hasn't happened yet. It's just EA Play Pro, which is kind of annoying. Oh, that's a point to get away from everything that I've been saying. I wonder if Need for Speed Most Wanted, which is part of EA Play, that's going to be part of EA Play on PC, right? So am I going to be getting Xbox achievements if I play it via that? We're going to have to see how that works. Anyway, sorry, I got off track. So I'm kind of like, do I play the original Mass Effect trilogy, like the backwards compatible 360 games? Or do I wait until Mass Effect Remastered comes out and play that? Like, it doesn't sound like they're going to change the gameplay at all for Mass Effect Remastered, but if it's going to look prettier, then I might as well wait. But then if it's just going to be on EA Play Pro, which they haven't announced yet, whether it's going to be on that or just regular EA Play or just not on EA Play at all, it's like, well, then I might as well just download the originals. I don't know, man. What a first world fucking problem to have. I don't know whether to download this free edition of a game because I don't know if a remaster is going to be free as well. Well, it's not free. I hate it when people say that because it's not free. You're paying monthly for it. But you know what I mean. Like, it's a lot cheaper than it otherwise would have been. Well, anyway, that was a train of thought, wasn't it? There's not going to be many thought categories for this video because it was World of Warcraft, and then it was, why is my brain borked? Why do brain work this way? Me no understand. Caveman brain like serotonin, but serotonin doesn't respond to logic? Me no understand caveman brain. Why caveman brain like this? Me no understand. Me see you next week.